It is August already, and we are still here when it came from GenX. Welcome to the show, everybody. Thank you for listening. I'm Keith Porter, alongside Michael Skinner and Brian Fisher. We are your Generation X hosts today, and we are glad to be here. So, without further ado, let's talk to the fellas, see how they're doing today. Fishbone, what's going on, brother?
Hey, man. Great weekend. Great weather in Northeast Ohio. What I think was I tried to get into the same salon you got into for the Dennis Rodman,
They
Dennis
were,
Rodman
yeah,
2010 look here. So
the
I wasn't able
Rodman
to get in though.
special.
Yeah. Other than that, I'll keep trying to get in there. It's pretty full list.
You know what happened?
Uh-huh.
They only have so much dye.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to
Yep.
wait for the next shipment to come in.
Gotcha. Imagine me with the blonde with the Maybe I'll put it in my beard too. Yeah, I'll put the blonde over the white and.
So technically, this was supposed to be white to match, but that's close they could get it. And I was screaming holy terror, so here we are.
Yep.
Skinner, what's going on, my brother? Besides the glorious day we had yesterday.
As glorious as the day was yesterday, I'm certainly glad it's come and gone. All the prep work and all the agony of getting the place ready for a wedding. For you folks out there, my stepdaughter and now son-in-law tied the knot yesterday in my backyard, and it was a beautiful ceremony, beautiful day. Lots of work to get ready for it, but we're glad that it came and gone. And the kids were very happy with the day as well, and that's the most important thing.
That's all that matters. That's great. And yours truly officiated the wedding. And I was also the wedding photographer, so I was wearing a couple hats yesterday, and I was glad to be there. She looked so beautiful. The emotion on her face as we stood there at the altar almost had me in tears. It was a glorious thing. So congratulations to them, Mr. and Mrs. Rogers now.
That's correct.
And I hope they have a long, long, happy life together. Oh, good day today, fellas. Well, I took my Tinder app down. So just letting everybody know.
Already? Now, how long was it up?
It was 3 days. 2 weeks. Maybe close to 2 weeks.
Okay. Well, sorry, ladies.
And sorry other people too, not just ladies, which is why it's down.
Hey, what's up with you?
So ladies aren't the problem.
C. Barkley.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah.
So, I got tired of meeting women named George. Or married couples asking me for favors.
Yeah.
So that's down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they wanted you to officiate something, but not a wedding necessarily.
But I kept the one up on Facebook though. It's still up there. But I had a date with a lovely young lady I met, and that was great today. So
very good.
I'm kind of glowing right now.
That's good. Yeah, we can see the top of your head. Thank you.
Yeah. That boy sharp today, ain't he? He about as sharp as a bowling ball. And so, I wanted her to really get my personality today, so I spilled water on her at the restaurant.
Just too hot.
Tell me about it.
Too hot.
All right, fellas. Well, lots going on in the world today. We got some good stuff to talk about. We also have a great Get Off My Lawn segment. For those of you who don't know, Get Off My Lawn is a short 15 to 20-minute segment posted prior to the show about what's bugging us here at It Came From GenX, so be sure to check that out. But for those of you listening to us on podcasts, Fish, tell them where they can find us.
Well, you might be listening to us on WMVU.org, Global Internet Radio, Mondays from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern. As Keith said, we're on demand on your favorite podcast platforms, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and more. Just find us there. Give us a subscribe, and then you'll get notifications as we post new episodes each and every week. Facebook page at It Came From GenX, all one word. YouTube channel, It Came From GenX. We're out there on Instagram. It came from _GenX. Twitter. It came from GenX, and TikTok at It Came From GenX 330. Email the show. It came from GenX 330 at gmail.com. You can also respond to us on our Facebook page. All this information is wrapped up nice and neat on our Linktree account. Just Google It Came From GenX Linktree, and our page will come up for you. Just simply a platform with links to all the social media I just mentioned to you. So It Came From GenX Linktree. And everything is there for you. I mentioned last week we're working on getting a website up on WordPress. Didn't quite get that done, but that will be up very, very soon. As soon as we have that, we will share that to our Facebook page and get that out there for you. Then all this information will be right there on our website, including links to the show and the whole bit there too. So that'll be up very, very soon.
We got some new pictures and some things coming as well. I know you're dying to see what we look like. For those of you who have never seen us or met us, so get prepared for that. So
we'll put a link to Keith's Tinder profile when it's back up there for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Tinder, all right. I know why they call it that now. I'll tell you that much.
Yes,
makes sense now. Wow.
Yep.
Where's my pillow? But anyway, back to the wedding, Skinner. I just want to say this because I was about to give our shout outs, but I got to give a shout out and let you know you are one blessed man. You have got one beautiful, awesome woman. Marcy just impressed me so yesterday. She's gorgeous. She smells good. She's smart. She's on top of crap, and she don't take no junk. And I emphasize smell good one more time.
Right. Every time he comes around, he's always commenting on how she smells, and I'm like,
I like sniffing your woman, man.
You do.
It's a good counterbalance. It's a good counterbalance there.
Thank God we're good friends. I tell you, that won't fly both places. But no, I just want to give a shout out to her. What a heck of a job she did, and you're a very, very blessed man. And
I agree with you on that comment.
You really screwed up last week. You forgot our shout outs to my boy, your son, Michael Skinner Jr. Don't know what we would do without him. And we love you, Junior. Thank you for everything that you have done. And Christopher Dominic, we can't tell how much we appreciate you. And hey, let's get on with the show.
Sounds good.
Skinner, what we got, brother?
Well, just like last week, there's really two things going on in the world right now. One of them's the Olympics, and that's more down your alley. And the other one is
nothing's down my alley. So go ahead.
Yeah, you can't. It doesn't fit.
That's right. It's right. The Kalanick alley may. Well, no, it wouldn't fit there either. So anyhow, the other big thing going on right now is this COVID-19 Delta variant that's just wreaking havoc all over the world.
Picking up more steam.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Today, actually, or on Sunday, rather, so yesterday, they have, let's see here, they have now added 16 destinations across the world as classified as high-risk COVID-19. There was just a couple mild ones, which the U.S. was one of those. Over the last couple months and everything kind of died down, but now they've got 16 high risk, including the United States, unfortunately. Greece was put on there. There's no direct travel from non-citizens from both Ireland and Greece, so both of those are hot spots right now. Dominican Republic, let's see, what else? Puerto Rico, a U.S. territory. They're having a hard time with COVID cases. It must be those folks from Miami traveling back and forth because Florida's the epicenter right now of COVID for the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
In the news today, Senator Lindsey Graham says that he is now being diagnosed with COVID-19, and he is a fully vaccinated individual. Makes you wonder.
You can still get it, of course.
Well,
But he also wait. He also said he credits the vaccine for having mild symptoms.
That is correct. But I remember at the very beginning they were talking about this was the miracle drug that you would not get COVID.
No, they never
that's
said
how
that.
it was advertised at the beginning. They backed off on it over time. But right there at the beginning, that's what they were advertising about this shot. No, I'm not an advocate of not getting it. I just haven't gotten mine yet. And we all talked about that before in the past. I'm waiting for it to be an FDA approved drug. And that's my next subject matter with that is Dr. Peter Parks, the director of Center for Biological Evaluation for the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. In an interview on Friday, said that they are doing everything they can to try to get that Pfizer vaccine as a FDA-approved drug. But he says, I can't speak to a date when we intend to have this done, but what I can say is we are going to move forward with all due diligence and to get this review done as quickly and as thoroughly as we possibly can. So I like the wording. I like what he's saying because I do want these drugs to be approved through the FDA. I think that's going to make it easier on me, easier on a lot of people that have that same thing, is they're kind of holding off waiting for it to be an approved drug. And then lastly, the U.S. reported yesterday that there's 816,000 doses were administered, the fifth straight day recording more than 700,000. According to CDC, 49.6% of the U.S. population is fully vaccinated, and 58.1% among the vaccine-eligible Americans 12 and under. 20 states have fully vaccinated more than half of their residents: Colorado, Connecticut, Hawaii, Maine. I won't go through all those. There are 2 states that with the lowest percentage of population vaccinated, and those are both down south: Alabama and Mississippi, 34 and 35%.
You ain't sticking no dang needles in me.
Shocking.
Yeah, so stay away from the South if you're dead set against that, not being around vaccinated people, because nobody's getting it there.
Well,
so
let me jump in here first, because here are the numbers that got me thinking. So from what I read, I don't know the exact percentage of the possibility of kid getting the Delta variant of the vaccinated. However, now they're talking about if you get a second shot, there's a 93% chance that you won't get it. And when I hear that, first thing I think about was when the vaccines first came out, the high number, which was something like that. I don't want to quote it because I don't know exact, that they said there was a chance of you not getting it if you get vaccinated. But nobody foresaw the Delta variant. So my question is, say the Pfizer thing gets approved, say you get this booster shot, whatever. How do we know something else ain't coming? How do we know this thing's not mutating? How do we know this thing's not adjusting? Because you got to admit, I mean, you know, I got vaccinated, kind of starting to regret it a little bit. But here's the thing. When you do test on something, the one thing you cannot account for is time. You can't assimilate time. Products that makeup, for crying out loud, sometimes is tested for years before it's released to the public. And here we're shooting something in our bodies to stop a deadly disease that nobody knows what the long-term effects are. How could you? What subjects did you have? It just came out. So I really got to wonder. I guess all I'm saying is this is really scary territory we heading in here too, because you keep coming up with stuff to fight things that you didn't foresee, which means might be something else you don't foresee coming down the road. And it's cause for concern.
Well, I agree. You know, I got vaccinated as soon as I could. I'm happy I did it. I feel that, in my opinion, it's a duty to my fellow citizens, because it does. I with half the population vaccinated, I guarantee that a lot of lives have been saved just with that alone. I mean, so The science is there. I wish they would hurry up and get the thing approved. I don't know, honestly. They could approve it today. I seriously doubt a lot of folks are going to run out and get vaccinated just because they approve it. I doubt it. So
Can I
I think
say
it's.
one
I think
thing,
it's
though, Fish?
sure.
Would you agree with me, though? You said the science is there, but the science is also incomplete. Is that a fair
Sure. I mean,
statement?
this is all. Yeah, but I'm saying the science is there as far as if you've been vaccinated, the likelihood that you will get sick enough to be hospitalized and die is extremely, extremely low. You can
I
still
believe
get
that.
it.
I believe that.
You can still get it. You can still pass it. I heard a thing this week in you are well, if you catch it when you're vaccinated, you may not know it, but you are just as contagious as someone who is very ill with it, and you may not even know it and pass it on to others. And sooner or later, the mask mandates probably will come back around and all of that. So I don't know.
Oh, that's a guarantee.
Yeah,
I agree
I
with
don't
that.
know.
And
So go ahead.
we run in some similar circles, but I don't know if you guys seen the thing going around on Facebook. The meme they're saying, "Do you know anyone who's actually got sick or died with COVID?" And I think they're trying to. The pretense is like, I don't know anybody who ever even had this disease. Well, I do.
Me too.
So
Me too. And he was
I get what you're
hospitalized.
saying.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, okay.
All right. So, Skin, let me ask you, okay? All seriousness. Now, you haven't got it. If they approve the drug today, are you going to go out and get what will convince you to go get the vaccination, or are you just nope, not going to do it? Just curious.
I am not dead set against it, but I'm not going to go out tomorrow if it was approved today and get it. It does weigh heavily on my mind that it's not an approved drug. It also weighs heavy on my mind seeing that it's not a preventative drug. Yeah, it helps with symptoms. People are still getting sick. Even on it, the government's still mandating masks for those that are vaccinated in public places, and that's going to come back here within the next couple of months. I can see it. I can see the writing on the wall. I'm not dead set against it, but that's 75% to no, 25% maybe right now. If that answers your question.
Okay. What would make you want to go get it? Anything or no?
There's nothing right now that you could entice me to go get it. Like Porter says, the time factor really weighs on me. Is there's not enough time for these studies. Yeah, you said science is there, but the science is very incomplete. Like Porter said, there needs to be more time, more science involved, more testing, more. Let's see how this thing pans out. Maybe a year from now, my feelings are different. But right
Now, one
now,
thing we haven't talked about on the show is hydroxychloroquine, and you got to be very selective where you get your news source from. If you're watching local news and whatever, then you're getting bullcrap stories because those are owned by people with agendas, left or right or what have you. I like independent news sources through the internet personally, or Christian broadcasting stations that I trust and their news stories. And there's a fascinating story they did. I can send you the link to watch the video. Doctors overseas declaring we got people coming in with COVID every day, and we're curing them with hydroxychloroquine. And they asked President Trump about it. He kind of watched over it. He said he was taking a dose every single. He watched over it. Then he came out and admitted he was taking a dose of hydroxychloroquine every day. That and zinc. I've been taking zinc since COVID came out every single day. So I think there should be a lot more talk about those things that have been around a lot longer than vaccines. And people, if you're listening, look into that. That's all I got.
There you go.
All in all, it's still a scary subject matter. Still very, very controversial subject matter. But at the end of the day, people are still getting sick and people are still having issues.
Yeah.
I just pray that this goes away sometime soon.
Psalm 91. That's all I got. All for that. Psalm 91.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
All right, fellas, that's my subject for today.
Well, appreciate it, and thank you for always keeping on top of the COVID situation. It is certainly a fluid situation. It's changing rapidly. The words Delta variant didn't even exist a little while ago, and now here we are. So, all right, thank you. Skin Bone, all kind of cool pop culture stuff happening, my man.
Is the dye seeping into your brain?
Oh,
It
because you're a
is. The
Fisher.
skin bone
That's
just
right.
finished.
That's
Yeah.
right. You know what? It
I don't know.
actually is.
Mm-hmm.
So if I say something stupid tonight, there you go. Fisher.
Yeah. All I know is Keith was not taking zinc prior. He's taking zinc. The hair. I don't know what's going on. That's
There's
all I know.
correlations.
That's all I. And the COVID's going to be around longer than Keith's current hair color. That's all I know that too.
That's true.
Guys,
I know that too.
Let's talk about the shirts real quick. What do you got on, Skinner?
Mine's an Ohio State one. It says, I had a nightmare last night, woke up that I was a Michigan fan.
Oh, that's great.
I wear this around town and I get people laughing and pointing at it all the time. It's great.
The girl I had a date with is from Michigan, so I really let her have it.
Okay.
Very good. Very good.
That didn't come out right. Fish, what do you got on there, brother? Hat and shirt.
I'm wearing an Akron Rubber Ducks hat, which is the minor league affiliate of the Cleveland Guardians.
That was great.
Yeah. And I'm wearing an Asteroids video game shirt. Now, this particular logo is from the Atari 2600 version of Asteroids. Great version of that game. You know, the arcade game was fun.
Favorite.
But the Atari game, they were hit and miss as far as the home version back in the day. But the Asteroids was one of the best Atari 2600 games that existed. Very, very close to the original. Tons of variation. A lot of fun. Spent many hours playing that game. Yeah,
brain-numbing hours. You know what I would do? I would turn the light up. I would take the TV and turn the brightness all the way up and turn the contrast all the way down, so the screen was jet black and like the ship would leave trails. And I would turn the lights out in the dark. Man, it was awesome. Sat there for hours.
Yeah. You could run those games. You're right. Then the Astros would just kind of float around, and then you're right. Then the demo, the ship would fly by and stuff like that. Yeah,
that's great.
Very, very cool.
No, I didn't read a book. I sat there for hours. All right, explains a lot. All right.
What are you doing up there? I'm watching the Asteroids Atari. Are you playing it? Nope, just watching it.
Just watching it go by.
Yep, that's it. That's it.
All
right. So.
Pop culture.
So I'm not familiar with this gentleman, but I figure I would bring it up because some people are familiar with him, I'm sure. We did have a passing of actor Saginaw Grant. He was 85 years of age, passed away on Wednesday. But he was best known for his performance as Chief Big Bear in The Lone Ranger. Now, I don't know if that's the film or the short. I would guess it would be the Lone Ranger back in the day because he was 85 years of age. So I would imagine he was probably on some of the serials back then. Lone Ranger.
Well, he was a real Native American Indian.
Yes, absolutely. Then he had featured roles in Breaking Bad, Baywatch, My Name is Earl, Saving Grace, American Horror Story, Shameless, Community, Workaholics, and Veep. So he had a lot of acting roles. So not familiar with him, but he did serve in the U.S. Marine Corps during the Korean War.
Okay.
And so rest in peace, Saginaw Grant. Not sure you guys knew who he was. If not,
I didn't, I usually at least have heard of everybody, but I don't even recognize this guy's picture. But looking at his movies, certainly he was typecast a lot. That traditional old man Indian role, but Rest in peace, brother. Godspeed.
Yeah. Okay. Skinner, are you familiar with him? No.
No, I was just looking at him up. I looked at a picture. I am not familiar.
Okay.
Figured he was a Native American, which, I would think he'd be in a lot of different things that I've watched because I'm into. Never watched Veep. I did see Shameless, but I don't recognize the face.
Okay.
A couple of those other shows that you're talking about.
Oh,
But
Veep is hysterical, man. You got to watch Veep.
Yeah,
I
gotta get
need
around
to.
that.
I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Oh my gosh, great.
Okay, and we'll talk more about this on our Get Off Our Lawn segment after our main episode here. But yesterday, this past Sunday, was the 40th anniversary of MTV launching. So we won't even go into it right now, but we will talk more about that in our Get Off Our Lawn. So check that out. If you are looking for a piece of wedding cake from Princess Di's wedding, somehow you can purchase a piece. There's 4 slices of cake from Prince Charles's and Princess Diana's 1981 wedding still available. They're going up for auction next week. They estimate a single slice of a 40-year-old piece of cake will sell for around $300 to $400. So there you go. Just interesting, the things that people will buy and sell out there. Without question, I'm actually surprised it's that low.
I am
frankly.
too. As
So
stupid
they
as
will
people
sell.
are.
Yeah, they will sell absolutely for certain. Somebody's going to buy these and preserve them and do something with them. So, any interest in a piece of wedding cake from Princess Di and Prince Charles's wedding, gentlemen?
Well, the first thing I think of when you say there's 4 pieces for $395, they'll say there's 2 left tomorrow, and then a week from now they'll say get it fast. There's only 2 left, and then another on and on and on and on and on, and people still buy the damn thing.
I thought he was about to say there's a couple pieces of wedding cake left at Skinner's house. I really didn't see this coming. All I can say is this: if you are interested in that, I also have a couple of slices of cake from Franz Leibowitz's bar mitzvah. That go for $200 a slice if you're interested. It's very similar to Intimates. So if you like Intimates, you'll love these. Just contact me. Email me, whatever. Come on, man. Really? I mean, can you eat it? No. Or can't? Stop. Just stop. Somebody's going to buy it. So, hey, if I had it, I'd sell it too.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so the box office continues to make some rebounds here despite the COVID. This will be interesting to watch this as well because sooner or later, some people may start to ease back out of going to the theater again with the COVID scare and all that. But certainly, people are definitely ready to get back out to the theater. We talked about last week the huge opening with Black Widow, and we'll come back to that, Keith. I know you watched it since. And this past weekend, we had the Disney's Jungle Cruise open to a higher than expected amount, $34 million in its opening weekend, starring The Rock and Emily Blunt. Certainly fine actor and actress. Don't get me wrong.
I'm a big Emily Blunt fan as well.
And the movie is loosely based on. If you've been to Disney at all, this has been a very popular ride for many, many years where you ride a boat, and this is before. This is a classic staple in going to Disney if you've ever been there before. You ride a boat through like a jungle scene, very, very cool, animated animals and so forth, and a guy kind of tells you a corny story and all this type of stuff.
That's also standard if you come to West Akron too, but go ahead.
The Jungle Cruise. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Only you're in a bulletproof.
Take a boat and the animals are on the side, but go ahead.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, it's absolutely. I don't know. For this one, I don't get it. I guess people are just starving to get to the movies or The Rock or Emily Blunt's a big attraction. This movie has no interest to me whatsoever. I don't know. That's just me. So Now, Keith, you mentioned off camera you're planning to watch this movie. So
Yeah.
what is it appealing to you? Why are you interested in this movie? I'm curious.
Okay. Let me say a couple things first. Number one, you talked about people itching to get back for the theater experience, and hopefully COVID don't shut it down.
Mhm.
I'm hoping that as well. I'm saving my return to the theater experience for Marvel's Shang-Chi,
Yes.
which looks utterly incredible.
Yes.
So I'm waiting for that.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm kind of positioning myself here as our official movie review guy. So I am with you. Movies like this don't interest me, but I know we're more of the sci-fi,
Mhm.
fantasy, Marvel type guys. But there's a remnant of people out there that aren't into that stuff, but they like adventure, excitement. So that's why these movies flourish. And I saw this movie, and it looked like one of the rocks get me by to the next blockbuster movies. You know, that's how I saw it,
Mhm. Mhm.
and I had no interest at all. I watched a 2-3 minute thing on this on YouTube, and I'm like, I gotta check this out. This might be more than what meets the eye.
Okay.
I saw some incredible CGI, and it looked like it was a lot of fun. So I'm gonna give it a shot, and I'll be back and let you guys know what I think.
Yeah.
So,
Please
with
do.
that being said, I told you last week that I would watch Black Widow in a week, and I got to tell you, I really enjoyed it more the second time around. It was pretty good. It was a
Very
lot
good.
better. I appreciated the things in it that I wasn't expecting. The relationship between her and her sister. I really thought her sister stole the movie. I just loved her
Mhm.
character, her
Yeah.
voice, her sense of humor was awesome.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really great movie. I'm looking forward to seeing her in the Hawkeye series.
Yes, absolutely. Skinner, you ever say something? Go ahead.
Oh no, I would totally agree with you guys. I think the sister is the best part of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Easy on the eye as well. Thank you. Okay. Good. Yeah. And I just thought this was a cute story here. This guy at home, he has a young child at least, 2-year-old son, Jack. He has a 2-year-old. This guy just home with the pandemic, just trying to
Mm-hmm.
find something to do and entertain. He starts to take old Fisher Price toys, okay, and build sets and make characters from Schitt's Creek, the TV show, which is now
Mm-hmm.
streaming on Netflix with Dan Levy. Great show, by the way. If you haven't seen that, go back and I'm still working through it, but
I'm
it
gonna start
never
that.
fails to make me laugh, which is
Okay.
actually with a lot of TV shows anymore. That's a
Right.
rarity, but that one makes me laugh every episode. So he starts to build these sets and starts to put them out there on his Instagram account, and then lo and behold, it gets some attention. Dan Levy caught it, who's a star of Schitt's Creek, caught it on social media and starts commenting and things like that. Next thing you know, now Netflix is contacting this guy to do some stuff. Now, exactly what he's going to do, it's a little unclear. It looks like he's probably going to maybe make some characters for shows. I think he's going to do maybe a little bit of promo work or something like that. I don't know. I just thought it was very cool that this guy just trying to find something entertaining to do, takes these old Fisher Price toys, and you can find it out there. You can look up Fisher Price, Schitt's Creek, or something like that. And it's actually very creative. He's got the little figures. He's dressing them up like characters on the show.
Right.
He's building sets behind them and scenes from the show and taking pictures and putting them out there on social media. So just a nice feel-good story of a dad doing something fun, gets noticed, and now looks like he's going to make a few extra bucks in putting stuff out on social media. So it kind of shows, number one, just it's nice to dad doing something fun,
Mm-hmm.
and number two, you just never know. You
You
never
never know.
know if you're having fun and you put something out there on social media.
Right.
You never know who may see it.
I
You never know
applaud the
what gets
work
picked
ethic.
up. Yep.
I applaud the concentration that it took. And thirdly, the only thing I can say is this is why I love America, the land of opportunity. Sometimes something like that will just strike out of nowhere. And hey, good for them. I'm not a hater, I'm a congratulator.
Absolutely. And that reminds me, if you guys out there would just take 2 seconds, give us a goddamn subscribe, will you? Share
Yes.
us You never know. No, I'm kidding, but you never know. Honestly, if you like our stuff, share us, and you never know what gets picked up and all that stuff. We hope you're having fun with our show. But yeah, just a very, very nice, very nice story. So good for him, and that's what I got in the world of pop culture this week. So Keith, what do you got in the worlds of sports and music?
Sports and music, okay. Skinner alluded to the biggest thing going on in the world today, and it happens to be in the category of sports, is the Olympics. Our second week of the Olympics, and of course the big story was Simone Biles had retracted from the Olympics a few days ago to much controversy. There was those who criticized, there was those that supported. However, news source today says she will be returning for the final balance beam competition of the sport. I hope she's ready. I hope there's no peer pressure forcing her to do this, and she's not ready. And I hope she does well. I don't want to focus too much on Simone Biles, but I do want to congratulate like Suni Lee and some of the other gymnasts that talk about stepped up.
Sure.
And man, and still brought home the gold for the U.S. I was just really happy to see that. So,
my girl Michaela Skinner.
Yeah,
I like her because of the name. She's got a good name.
She got a great name.
That's good. Simone's coming back because Skinner was actually an alternate on the balance beam, believe it or not. So it was just it was looking pretty grim there. So it's a good thing that she's coming back to compete there. So
yeah, but balance beam. Most Skinners can't balance their checkbook, so we, just kidding. So yeah, that's good. So in the world of music, there's not much going on in sports, but in the world of music, a couple of things, guys, caught my attention. I wanted to talk about and take us back in the day. First of all, in 77 on this day, Sex Pistols Sid Vicious was fined 125 pounds by a London court. Basically, he was caught with a knife at a punk festival. No big deal on today's standard, but it got me thinking about the Sex Pistols, the whole punk movement, which lasted a long time. I mean, it was huge in the 70s, especially in the European nations, spilled over to the United States in the 80s, maybe a little bit the early 90s. And then we saw this transformation. The kids started leaving punk and moving towards something that was known as goth. And it basically became a horror show, was what it was. And then goth kind of transformed into this whole new thing with the emergence of bands like the band that killed heavy metal. God, I'm drawing a brain cramp right here. Guy killed himself. No, the guy that killed himself.
Nirvana?
Nirvana. Yeah.
Okay.
With the rise of Nirvana, goth turned into grunge. And it basically turned into, in my opinion, a bunch of whiny, upset at the world. My life is so horrible. And to let you know how horrible it is, I'm going to dress as horrible as I can and don't wash my hair. And we're all going to wear the same stupid stripes and the same stupid shoes. And, I really just wanted to punch every grunge person I saw. Guys, how do you feel about this movement? And how do you feel about the punk movement? Is it totally gone? You think it's coming back if it is gone? And what are kids into today? Skinner?
Well, just like Dennis Rodman lookalikes, it'll be back, I'm sure.
Boy, the shots are coming. That's all you got to offer.
No, you guys know I was in the military, and I was actually stationed out in Tacoma, Washington, where grunge actually was in the forefront. You had Nirvana, you had I'm drawing a blank now. Pearl Jam, Audio
Alice in
Slave.
Chains.
Alice in Chains. That's who I was trying to read.
Yeah,
All
Audio
those
Box.
bands were in their heyday in the early 90s, and that's where the punk came into. You had the flannel shirts that were loosely worn with the cutoff jeans, and well, we all know what the punk looked like
Mm-hmm.
back then. So I was out there in the middle of that, and I was actually out there when Kurt Cobain passed away. And boy, I tell you what, that scene, that's all it was out there, was that grunge punk look. That's all Seattle
Yeah,
was there for
the
a
old
really
man
long time.
sweaters.
I have to remind you, while I was out there at a Grateful Dead concert, no, I'll have to tell that story another time. But yeah, out there with 23 years old, military cut, shaved, young kid, very beautiful young bride with Tracy at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we ran into a bunch of deadheads at a concert. But I'll tell that story another time. Uh,
Okay,
but,
Fish.
but
Go
I
ahead.
was a
You
good,
know,
real quick. I was a real big Pearl Jam fan, but I was not a Nirvana fan. I did not like their
no,
music at all. Like
no,
you said, all they did was sit and whine and cry about how bad their
yeah,
life was. So, but that's what
absolutely.
I got.
Fish.
Well, will it come back? Sure. I mean, everything comes back around, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, kids are pegging their pants. They're wearing mullets again.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole thing. So will the punk movement? Sure, there's no reason to think that it won't. I mean, it's if nothing else, it's it's rebellious. It's screw the man. It's all this and
Mm-hmm.
that. And there's still hairstyles. I mean, it's very appropriate. It's not uncommon. You see guys with these faux hawks right now, which actually I
Yeah,
kind of like that look. It's
I'm glad you
just a
brought that
shaved
up.
head with not completely
I see a lot of
bald.
kids with it,
Yeah.
like
So
10-year-olds. Parents got the kids
sure,
with that. Yeah.
it's a cool look, and sure, it's again, it's too cool and too rebellious not to make a return more prominently. So, and I like a lot of music. It's
I
just
love
fun
the
stuff.
trichotomy of the hairstyle. So with the punk, it was just the spiked mohawks and
Hmm.
everything, and then when you got into the goth look, it was just crazy. You had like everything from bouffants to just black hair over your face, and then of course the grunge look, which I hate, especially for the guys. It's just short, wavy hair. It looks like you should be a little girl named Alice. Uh, if you ever want to see a great example of that transformation in the movie Rockstar with Wahlberg, how he goes from the heavy metal guy to the grunge guy at the end, with the old man sweater and the haircut. So, and of course, then we talk about the hair metal movement too. So you had the guys whose hair looks like some hot chick out on a stroll or something. But
Hmm.
I don't know. I just too many kids whine, and I thought the music was the embodiment. I'm speaking of grunge, of the whining. Some of them grew up in $100,000 homes. Had both parents in the house and never missed a meal, but they wanted to complain about their life, and dad and mom sucked. Why? Because they work hard to provide for you. Just something to complain about. Didn't know what hard life was if it slapped them upside the face. So
Yeah, maybe we're just older. I just can't place it. Like, what type of music today has a look to it? You know what I'm trying to say? It's like
that's a really great
I
question.
don't know. It's good music. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that we're too old not to enjoy modern music, but it just I had a trouble. It's
There's a
like there's not
lot
a
of
look.
things going on right now. There's this in some areas of hip hop, they got a lot of the men looking like women wearing actual skirts and
Hmm.
dresses, which is pretty pathetic. Um, but other than that, the hairstyles are all over the place now. You mentioned mullets and things coming back, but you also got the colored hair movement, which is
Hmm.
hello. But
Who is doing that?
I
Must
have
be
no idea who's
yeah,
doing that,
yeah.
but
Hmm.
well, we're talking, your purples and greens and orange and things like that. But that's a good question. I'll look into that and see if I can come up with a more definitive answer next week.
Okay.
Okay. So also, in this day in music, wow, this takes me back to junior high and high school, guys. 1986, Peter Cetera from the Great Horn Band Chicago,
Hmm.
aptly named. He had his first number one solo hit from the movie The Karate Kid 2. Certainly, The Karate Kid and Karate Kid 2 is something we grew up with. And if you have not seen Cobra Kai on YouTube, you are missing something.
Oh yeah.
But
Netflix.
is it on Netflix too now?
It is.
It's on
That's where
Netflix.
it's originally. Netflix.
You're right. He's right. He's right. Start on YouTube, and then Netflix picked it up. So they've been
Oh,
making new
I
series
gotcha.
since.
oh,
Yes.
okay,
Right.
great.
Yes.
Okay, number one hit, The Glory of Love. And guys, it got me started thinking, are there still power ballads nowadays? Can you recall a recent power ballad? This was the big deal back in the 80s. The heavy guitar, but the heavy keyboard, the love lyrics, and the big choruses. We had the Bryan Adams, we had Air Supply, all these groups of power ballads. Is anybody still making power ballads today? And what was some of your favorite power ballads, Fish?
Boy, is anybody still making them today? I sure can't. And maybe it's just I'm still too stuck on listening to the old stuff. When I listen to music, I got to. I don't know who's really making power ballads. It seemed to me that it was definitely a product of our generation for sure.
Yes.
And it was like a big deal for the heavy metal guys, as we know.
Oh yeah.
You got to get the power
You
ballad
gotta
in there
have the power
because
ballad.
yeah, it's like the earlier ones. It was like Motley Crue doing "Home Sweet Home" was a
Maybe
big
one
one
of
at
the
the
most
time,
popular ones.
and it's still a good one. And it was like they were smart enough to realize that okay, it's easy to bring in dudes to shows singing the stuff that we're singing about and the music and so forth. And they started to make some songs that are more geared toward the ladies, and you get the whole. So yeah, so some of my favorites. I mean, "Home Sweet Home" was good. I still like Whitesnake stuff. Like, is this the love is great, and gosh, I mean, it even goes back to even "Kiss with Beth." I still like that
Oh
song, but
yeah, yeah, one of the
that
greatest
was one of
ever.
the earlier power ballads, in my opinion, back in the day, without even what it was even defined that as such back then. So, it's just a couple that come to mind. Like I said, "Home Sweet Home." Is This the Love by Whitesnake with two huge ones in my
Yeah.
mind. So
Now I'm
yeah,
gonna tell you guys, I was an Air Supply fan when I was little.
sure, yeah.
Love those songs, man. That was around an age where our hormones were starting to, go crazy, and every girl that said hello to us, we thought we were in love, and so these songs had a real big effect on us,
Sure.
growing up. I can
Yeah, it was
remember.
like this is what love is. This is what love
Yeah,
is supposed to be. I'm supposed
you
to
know,
feel this,
I
whatever this
remember
is.
sitting in the dark with a boombox, listening to some of these songs and crying over this girl and that girl.
Asteroids in the background,
Yeah, one of those girls who was my first girlfriends in junior high, I'm about to have dinner with. I'll tell you the name off air. I'm sure you guys all know. So yeah, Skidder.
I got a few of them. Skid Row, I Remember You, was a big power ballad back in
More of a 90s
1989.
thing. Okay.
Another couple power ballads, couple bands I really enjoyed. They didn't do too many. A band called Firehouse. They had 3 albums.
My good friend Al is in Firehouse.
Yeah, I really enjoyed them. I wish they would have come out more than what they did. They come in at the right time. Out. They are, but they haven't done much new music that I'm aware of.
I think you're wrong. Yeah.
Okay, I hope I am.
I'll look into that. Al, who was in my band Skillet Johnson, and back in the band called Fox way back in the day, is now their new bass player. Well, he's been in the band a long time now. And man, they've been very, very busy. I'll look to see if they got some new stuff.
Yeah, because I remember them back in the early 90s. That was a big band for me, too. Steelheart was another one. They had a song called I'll Never Let You Go. Was a huge...
I hate that song.
Okay, but yeah, I'm sure you do. But that was a big, huge ballad that really put them on the map, too. Another one called She's Gone from Steelheart was another one.
Yes.
So those are the bands that come to mind for me as far as ballads. Motley Crue, like you said, with Home Sweet Home. Even all the Van Halen had some pretty good power ballads back in the day too. So
Def Leppard. I mean, boy.
Def Leppard songs were power ballads.
Right. So to answer your question
album,
about
Pyromania.
Are there any today? I don't really think so. Not the power ballads that we're talking about. I don't think it's the same type of music anymore.
Right. Okay. Some of the ones that I remember, I love like when Heart kind of got their new sound. Songs like Alone and things like that. And one of the great writers of all time, Phil Collins, man. I mean, good
Oh, Phil
gravy.
Collins,
Sure.
yeah.
The list of power ballads he had was great. And I tell you another band who still to this day is one of my favorites, and they make some of the greatest power ballads ever made. That's the band Striper.
Sure.
Okay, yeah.
Listen to Striper a lot. So
now, did when a band you liked, okay, put out a power ballad, did it lower your fandom of that band a little bit? Were they selling out in your mind a little bit, or was like, nah, it's to be expected that they had to do it in some respect, depending on who they were. Like Metallica was not put out a power ballad per se, but
it was always some jerk, that was drunk that called him a sellout. Me being a musician and hindsight being 2020, I never thought it was a sellout, but at the same token, I understand the business side of this too. And the business side, it says this: they're doing what every bar owner understands. If you want to have a successful bar, get the ladies in. Okay, that's why you always got the ladies special, ladies drink. That's why you have it, because get the ladies in, and if you get the ladies in, the guys will follow. Okay, they're going to go where the ladies are, and then you get the ladies on the dance floor. If the ladies dance, they get thirsty, and guys buy drinks. So the power ballads, the guys knew where their money was. The money was in the ladies. The
We also think about.
merchandising.
You also think about all these songs and ballads that we've been talking about. It was all during the same era, within a period of about 7 or 8 years.
Yeah,
so I think it was that period of time is where the big ballads came out, and that's where they made their money.
Right.
So to answer your question, as far as did you look down on them? No, I don't think so, because that's what
Heck
we were.
No. How many of us use power ballads on a date or something? Whatever.
How many mixtapes did you make that had
exactly? If you were smart, you had a tape with power ballads on it. You had your Luther Vandross on it. You know what I'm saying? But that's, hey, it is what it is. Now, I didn't look down on them at all, but that's a great question, man. Okay.
Date tape 1 resulted in, I think, Steel Porter, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh my God.
Could be. It could be.
Oh my God!
We'll post that mix set on the website. We'll post
quick
that up.
story I had on one of my date musics, and Depeche Mode was playing, and one of their weird songs came up, and this Peter Gabriel off his Soul album, and she freaked out and jumped up and ran out the house because I freaked her out. And it just, the lights were down, and this Depeche Mode song was going on, freaking her out, man.
Oh, you mixed it in. You put a Depeche Mode song in with your romantic music, and it freaked her out.
Remember the 5 disc changers back then?
Oh yeah,
it was in one of the slots, and I forget what song it was. Well, I think one of them weird ones that happened to hold or something with the weird sound effects and stuff. And she wasn't used to that, so it really freaked her out a little bit. So I think she thought I was having some kind of seance or something. Okay, guys. Moving on. In 1970, this birthday, Zelma Davis was born. Zelma Davis was one of the singers, and I say one of the singers because a lot of people thought she was the singer for CNC Music Factory. Had a couple of big hits back in the 90s. Gonna Make You Sweat, one of the biggest dance hits ever. I love that song when it came out. It was totally unique and totally different. It had a combination of cool hip hop beats, great vocals, and rap. And Zelma
Wasn't
Davis.
There 3 of them that sang?
Yeah, women. Yeah, that's
3
about
women, wasn't it?
But but Zelma was the controversy was because she was in the video, and Martha Wash had signed a contract. But afterwards, when the song hit big, she felt discriminated against, and I think she filed a lawsuit. She made it public that she was the one that actually was doing the singing on the track. She made a really big deal out of it. I kind of thought she kind of made a spectacle of herself. She wanted to prove who she was and what she was about. She should have done it without trying to change CNC Music Factory, because that was a contract that she signed. And back then, it was all about looks, and every genre of music, looks was an image was everything. Now, I don't agree against discriminating against somebody overweight or things like that, but I do understand why they did it in the midst of the video age. You know what I'm saying? So video means visual, right? So that's why they did that. So, but it got me thinking. You look at groups today, just in my area, the rock bands. You know, when I started off, we spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars on the outfits, the hair, the way we look, all that type of stuff. Then all of a sudden, after Nirvana, guys were getting off work with bowling shirts on, just hopping up on stage and playing. If you were overweight, you wouldn't dare try to be up there, you know, especially a female. But now you got bands like Alabama Shakes and groups like that, and nobody seems to care. And I think that's great. I love that fact. I think people should dress to go on stage, but I don't think nobody should be discriminated against because they are overweight or what have you. Everybody can't look like a supermodel on stage. I do understand the show business part of it, and we do have a saying, people hear with their eyes, but no one should be discriminated against. Guys, what do you think about the change in music and visuals? Skinner?
Yeah, being the music that I was in, they always say visual is important, but at the end of the day, it's not a tall tale sign. Bring up the show The Voice, and they do such a great job as they listen for The Voice when they're, with their
Great
backs
point.
turned to them.
Great
They
point.
don't want to see who's singing. They don't know who's
Yes.
singing. They don't care if they're black, white, purple, green,
Mm-hmm.
thin as a stick or big as a balloon. They don't care, and that's why I think most people are nowadays. Wasn't always like that when we were growing up. There was always a stigma that you had to be a top model on stage if you were a female, and guys had to be skinny with long hair and look like a girl, beautiful like a girl, for them to succeed in music. And that's just not the case today, and I'm really happy for that.
Good point. Fish?
Yeah, I agree. It's like people are much more tolerant in good ways these days. So everybody embraces the fact that people have all kind of different body styles and personal styles and everything else, and people don't seem to care as much anymore. It's like, I don't really care what you look like. I don't care what your sexual orientation is or any of that stuff. Are you good? Do I like the music? Are you entertaining? And I don't really care as much about that you need to look a certain way. And certainly, there's some of our biggest, current stars are. You would not define them as a model type body, I guess, in the traditional sense, but they don't care. They're still handsome and beautiful men and women out there, and they're talented. They sing their ass off, and that's the way it should be.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
I totally agree with you. But like I always tell you guys, I always say on this show, my pastor, my mother always taught me to balance things. So I'm gonna be really honest here, okay? Very, very honest. I appreciate what both you guys said. It's so true, and I totally agree. And I don't want to see anybody be discriminated against on the stage. Me personally, growing up, a black guy playing heavy metal, I can appreciate it more than anybody because I certainly didn't fit the mold, and I wanted to be accepted for my skills and hard work on the drums. So, with that being said, on the other side, if you are on stage, you should strive to look your absolute best, because I don't want to hear this beauty's in the eye of the beholder crap. Sure, someone can be aesthetically pleasing and a piece of crap on the inside, but at the same time, we know what looks good to us. And if you're going to be in front of somebody for any length of time, you want to try and look your best.
Dress for success. It doesn't just mean for business.
Skinner made an interesting point today talking about the women's volleyball team. Okay, so let's be fair. Nobody forced them to design their uniforms with, a thong, going upstate elsewhere, but they did. You know what? It's volleyball. I'm pretty sure the fact that it's volleyball and you need to draw as much as attention and fans as you need to have something to do with it. If you guys haven't seen the Women's Football League, the World Premier League, these women play hard. They are vicious. They are brutal. They are awesome. But look what the uniforms they make them wear. They got on thongs and I mean, come on, are you serious? I think that's kind of shameful for as hard as they work and good as they play out there. But at the same time, they're trying to draw in people, draw in the audience. So what does this tell us? We know what beauty is. Let's just be honest. We know what looks good to us. You're not going to sit there and say that freaking, Yaphet Kotto is going to be great in a romantic lead or Ernest Borgnine. No, come on. You've never seen those guys in a romantic lead movie. You're going to see your Brad Pitts and your Denzels and so forth. So let's just be real honest about it. But all in all, we should accept people for who they are and enjoy what they can do. And that'll be it for us, guys.
And they say that we have the faces for a podcast.
I've heard that a lot. It's like we have some really great podcast bases. So,
all right, fellas, that was some great subject matter. I appreciate you guys more than you know.
Absolutely, brother.
For Michael Skinner, Brian Fisher, and Keith Porter, we are the guys from It Came From GenX. We appreciate your listen, and we hope to see you next week.
Thursday, I'll be with the Steeler Nation at the Hall of Fame. Yeah, baby.
Have a great week,
Beating up them Cowboys.
We're out. And